Hello everybody and welcome to quite an exciting episode on the ShadowZone. Some of you suggested I should take my Skycar that I made, well, just a week back I think, and take it to Laythe, since Laythe is also capable of flight with oxygen-breathing engines. Well, and this is what we're going to do here. In order to get the Skycar to Laythe, of course, I need some sort of transportation. And this is twofold. First, we have to get into orbit, and that's why I'm using this big SSTO spaceplane. Yes, we're going to piggyback on that to reach orbit, or at least a very high apoapse. And then we're going to detach and switch to our nuclear engines, which are basically the transfer stage to get us to Laythe, which is, if you don't know that already, a moon of the planet Jool. Alright, this is looking very good. We are now close to apoapse, we're separating our main vehicle and firing the nuclear engines to get into a stable orbit. And once we've done that, of course, why use a single stage-to-orbit spacecraft if you don't recover it? And that's what's now on the agenda. So first this thing, which is completely remote controlled by the way, so no Kerbals could be harmed in the making of this video, at least the portion of the video you're watching now. And as you can see, I'm trying to guesstimate where I'm going to land using the trajectories mod. We're already flying across the western desert and already above the KSC basically. We're coming in a bit too far east as it seems. You can see me here trying to brake by using some maneuvering stuff. But it didn't work and I ended up way out into the ocean. But fear not, we have enough liquid fuel on board to get back, either to the emergency runway you can see on the island on the left, or on the main runway. And since I thought I have enough fuel left, let's try the main runway. Gear out. And then I realized, well, the electricity is getting very close to reaching zero, but fortunately it didn't, and we landed, well, safely, but overshot the runway slightly. Oh well. Anyhow, so, in order to, well, make that Skycar really work on Laythe, of course it needs some sort of resupply capability. Since liquid fuel is in a limited supply in any vehicle, you have to refill it somehow, and in order to do that I decided to land a small little base on Laythe, which is able to extract or refine it to fuel and then refill my Skycar. And it will also double as a nice viewing platform of a beautiful scenery on Laythe. And what I'm doing here looks really stupid and is really stupid because I didn't detach the booster stage earlier, and I'm now trying to reach circularization while also nudging the booster stage out of the way. Yeah, 2 mistakes already in this video. If you want to know more about KSP mistakes, you can watch my 8 most common mistakes in Kerbal Space Program video. You can see that in the top right hand corner. Okay, this is it. This is the base we're going to send to Laythe. But before we can do that even, we have to send something else in advance. Since the base is controlled by a large probe core, it needs to be controlled remotely, and in order to do that we need to have communications enabled. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to send a small relay thingy up into orbit around Laythe. So we already have our encounter with Tylo, another moon of Jool, which is going to help us due to its gigantic mass compared to other moons to do some gravity assist and get captured around Jool a lot easier than if we would rely on our engines. Okay, and once those things are on the way, I'm going to send my base. There it is. The base has a big antenna on top, that is true, but it could happen that it would be on the, so to speak, dark side of the planet where there is no communication satellite in range. So I want to set up a network of 3 satellites around Laythe, so that on any given location on the planet the base will have contact to Kerbin. And in the meantime you have seen me get the Skycar on its way. Alright, here it is. What a beautiful scenery. By the way, if you like pretty pictures, you can follow my Instagram account. I usually don't post KSP stuff on there, but just interesting and nice stuff I find in the world around me. Alright, so we are already in the close vicinity of Laythe. This is Val, by the way. Not the pilot, the moon. And here we are. This is Laythe. Hi Laythe. What I'm going to try to do is use a slight air brake during my retrograde burn, so this assists me and I can save a little fuel. But I think I underestimated the heat forces. So... Again! Yes, you already know what's going to happen. We have to try again. And that's why I started to burn way earlier. I'm going to spend way more fuel than I would like, but in the end it's going to be a lot safer. Like, not explodey, deathy, mission over-y kind of safer. And yes, we are now circularized, and once we've done that, we got to deploy our 3 little relay satellites, which will stay in orbit around Laythe. The other thing, the rest of the craft will also stay in orbit. And by the way, if you want to know how to set up a relay, you can watch the video linked on the top right hand corner again. And yeah, look at that. What a beautiful scenery. I love KSP. I really love this game. Anyhow, back to the action. We now have our base on approach to Joule. And I've skipped quite a lot of maneuvers, you don't have to see all of those. And there we have it. We are going to now try to get through that atmosphere using the big heat shields. Well, this looks dangerous. Thankfully, we already had reduced our velocity due to the retrograde burns already, and this is now quite a safe descent, safer than I would have expected. Okay, we are ditching the booster, the transfer stage rather. And we have touched down safely and nothing appears to be broken, which is good. Okay, time to ditch some other stuff, namely those parachute mountings. I don't need those anymore and they're just unnecessary weight. Sleep with the fishes. Are there fishes on Laythe? Is there anything on Laythe besides water? Alright, we're going to need power, of course. And I had to rebuild the ocean, which is an option in Scatterer, the mod I use for the ocean over here. Alright, time to move this thing, because since I used parachutes for the landing, this of course was a bit akin to not really getting precisely down to where I would like. But in the end, thanks to those nice little Juno engines, I managed to transport my base slowly but steadily towards the shore. And once we're there, we're going to insert our drill and get that ore into those small tanks and refine it into delicious fuel. That's why those slanted tanks are there, to gather the fuel and refill the Skycar once it arrives. But until it arrives, Sarah Kerbin takes in the scenery and then of course has some breakfast, since the sun has just risen and it is of course time to eat in the morning, isn't it? Yes, of course she needs some company. Who likes to eat breakfast alone? I at least don't. And now it's time for the main event, so to speak. We are going to... well, not this time. Again! What I was trying to say, we're going to try to land Skycar on Laythe, but given the fact that I once again tried to do a way too aggressive air brake maneuver, we had to do some more gravity assists and slowing down our orbital velocities to enable this here. Yeah, a bit of some tossling around, but that didn't matter. We managed to get into a stable orbit and then of course get down to the planet's surface. Let's ditch those transfer nukes. Yeah, I know they're going to fall down on Laythe, but since we already established nothing lives there, didn't we? Yeah. Alright, this is another beautiful scenery. This video is full of them, by the way. Another beautiful scenery, and down there on the shores you will see the base once it is loaded into the game. It is down there, believe me. This is, well, not really the way this thing should fly. There we go. Alright, we are now on close approach, and yeah, my flying is letting us down. Trying to recover this. Almost had it. Almost have it. No. Again. Yeah, in the end I managed to get there fine. Yes, there's the base. And I tried a land landing first, which went down nicely. Later on I also tried to do a water landing, and this also worked out fine. Looky here, nothing broken. But let's do something else, because of course in order to refill the Skycar you need to dock it to that base, to that nice little tourist platform, you could call it almost. And of course for that I had mounted a lot of claws, those grabbing arms. Thing is though, well, I didn't realize I had to maneuver the craft in such a weird way until I get a lock like this, but it worked out fine in the end. And here we go, we have arrived on Laythe. We now have a Seabase on Laythe, we have a Seabase that can refuel our Skycar, and we have our Skycar and lots of science and communication equipment, and also a breakfast table, which is nice. So, since I have docked, I can transfer my Kerbals to the main containers and get them out there. And here we have another beautiful sunrise on Laythe. Look at that. I think this was worth the effort, don't you? Alright, let's go for a walk in the sunlight of Laythe. I hope that breakfast is ready already. So since Laythe has oxygen, so otherwise the jet engines wouldn't work, is it possible for Kerbals to breathe there? I know there's the texture replacer mod that enables you to take off their helmets, but yeah, I haven't got that installed. And once we had breakfast and are sufficiently nourished, let's take our new toy for a spin. The front Juno engines under the wings are working to get this thing out of the water. And once we got that, we are flying into the sunrise on a world far, far away. This was nice, and I hope you tune in the next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel for more and follow me on my social thingies. The links are in the description. Also, you can watch one of the 2 cool videos shown on the right. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.